So this is Carsten OZ9 Alpha Alpha Radio with a short demo video of a new device, a dual RF head Ethernet, which is a dual input power measurement device that can measure from minus 50 dBm up to a max of plus 10 dBm. In this setup, it is connected to one of my directional couplers, which has a coupling factor of around minus 60 dB on VHF. On the input, my ICOM 9700 are connected on the VHF band, 2 meter band. On the output, I have a dummy load, and then I have a milliwatt meter measuring the output of the dummy load, or attenuator. It's coupling with around minus 30 dB. The dual RF head Ethernet is connected to my local area network, and right now I have a browser window open that shows the small web server on the dual RF head Ethernet. So the page you see here is actually served directly from the little device. It shows 4 watt reflected power, SWR. You can change from average to peak. You can instead of watt, you can have it showing dBm, and you can change between dark and light, bright white theme. You can see the firmware version, the IP address. You can see the uptime, minutes, hour, minutes, and seconds since it was powered on. And you can also see the net BIOS name. The net BIOS name, you can enter that directly into your browser. That is a name that is published on your local network by the device when it powers on. It's constructed of the text dual RF and then the last 4 digits of its serial number. And the device is running as an HTTP server and not as an HTTPS server. So it's an HTTP server, just for information. Let me try here. I can go and transmit. I pushed the PTT on the radio, and if you look on the web page, it says 1.7 watts, and if I look at the milliwatt meter, it says 1.76 watts. I can increase the power somewhat. Let's go to 18.1 watts. You see the milliwatt meter 18.3, so pretty close. If I go to the radio, and instead of running FM, I go to SSB, and I pick up the mic 1 2 3 1 2 3, and you look at 1 2 3 1 2 3. You see the normal flickering because you don't have a constant carrier. And you see the same on the milliwatt meter, of course. Now, if I go to the web page, and instead of average, I click peak 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. You get the peak. You get the peak power with a delay in dropping again. 1 2 3, and you also let me go to the radio and go to FM again. And if I go up here, you can I press PTT, you get the carrier, and you can see the scale will auto scale. I go up in power up to 93.7. You can see that's 93.7. The milliwatt meter reads 93.6. You can see let me remove the peak. You can see that the scale is auto scaling, and it does that for both the forward and the reflected power. SWR is perfect here. There's no reflected power on this dummy load, which is pretty good on 2 meters. Again, the test setup, directional coupler fed by the radio, and output is in the dummy load and measured on the milliwatt meter, as you saw. And the 2 outputs of the directional coupler goes into the ports on the device. The directional coupler, in my case here, is having around minus 60 dB coupling on VHF. Depending on frequency and so on, and the coupler you use, you might need to add 2 SMA attenuators on the input. Important is to keep the power input on the dual RF head below plus 10 dBm. Look for the data of your directional coupler. If you get one of my directional couplers, they are calibrated and measured at different frequencies, so you know the attenuation there. So add attenuators if needed. For example, my coupler here on 23 centimeter has around 47 dB of coupling. In that case, you would probably need 10 or 15 dBs attenuation on the inputs here, depending on how much power you plan on pushing through a directional coupler. So that was just a quick tour of this little guy. One other thing here is that apart from the web page, my normal PC application for my dual RF head USB will also connect to the Ethernet version, the new version. You can simply here you can simply connect either via the COM port for the normal USB dual RF heads I have, or you can select and use networking, and you can locate the devices automatically on the network. You can have multiple devices you can connect to. But other than that, everything is the same. So check the page for the dual RF head USB, and it's basically the same for the Ethernet. The only difference is that instead of connecting via USB, it will connect using your local network. That's it. More information on www.moonbounce.dk. Thanks.